Hi everyone, it's Erlene of Erlene Garcia Art and the Hollywood Carney channel. Throughout history, prayer beads have been used for prayer, protection, and sometimes used as a talisman. The number of beads and color have significant meanings to the wearer and religions. I was inspired by the spiritual enlightenment of the 108 bead mantra malas to create a stretchy mala to wear as a necklace or bracelet. I stayed to the tradition of 108 beads, guru bead, tower bead, and the marker bead to pause, to remind us, let it go. It no longer serves you. The tassel has multiple meanings as well. The lotus blossom, the roots, and including our connection to the divine. And to remind us, no mud, no lotus. Today I would like to teach you how to create your very own personal spiritual mala. I have a few samples showing you the 108 beads, 109 including the guru, in sets of 27 beads, 27 beads, 27 beads, 27 beads, and 7, 14, 33, 33, 14, 7, and 21 beads, 33 beads, 33 beads, and 21 beads. Today, the one I am showing you will include the 7, 14, 33, 33, 14, and 7. It sounds confusing, but it is very easy and a perfect project to use very little beads that maybe you might only have 7 of one and 7 of another and maybe 21 of another. So you will need your 108 beads today. I have a list that we can follow, and we will also be needing around 10 spacer beads to use as the marker bead and to remind us to pause, to let it go, and it no longer serves you. We will also need a large bead. The guru bead is the large bead, indicates the starting and ending point of prayer beads and represents the student-guru relationship. Some say each mala should represent a mantra to keep the energy of that mantra flowing. So you can make a lot of these for each of your mantras. We will also be needing some embroidery floss for the tassel, representing the lotus blossom, the roots, and including our connection to the divine, and to remind us, no mud, no lotus. The malas we are designing today are for a single user and not to be worn by anyone else because it can decrease the spiritual energy. Both 9 and 12 are said to have a spiritual significance and a number of traditions. 9 times 12 equals 108. 108 energy lines that connect to the heart chakra, and one of those lines is the path to self-realization. And the ancient Sanskrit alphabet of India is 54 letters. 54 plus 54 is 108. Each has masculine and feminine versions. Now, knowing a little bit of the history behind the 108 prayer mala makes it more significant when you're creating it for yourself, friends, family. So I'm so excited. Let's get started. You will be needing scissors, 1 millimeter stretch cord, 7 Chinese crystal glass beads, 14 8 millimeter red jade beads, 33 Chinese green crystal beads, 33 teal color 8 millimeter lava beads, 14 8 millimeter white jade beads, 7 quartz crystal beads, about 10 spacers, 1 large bead for the guru bead. Make sure that it has a large hole, scissors, and your embroidery floss. Starting with the tassel, some people use 1 color, and you can. I will be using 4 colors to bring out and complement each color of the bead. So I am going to pull off about 2 feet of the 4 colors and wrap them around my fingers about 9 or 10 times. And then we will set it to the side and pull out our stretch magic cord. And when you're using the cord, always stretch it before stringing because it is very important. This relaxes it so it will not snap when someone puts it on the wrist. You will probably be using about 36 inches depending on the millimeter size of your bead. And I usually don't cut my cord until I come to the very end. So what we're gonna do is we're going to string our first 7 Chinese crystal beads, and those are so pretty. I always buy this color, I just love it. And then we are going to use 1 spacer bead, and then let's pick up 14 red jade 8mm beads. Those are so pretty. A few years ago, I started mixing the colors because I didn't have enough of one particular bead color. So I just thought it would be complementary and a really cool style to do it this way. So now that we're done with the 14 beads, put on another spacer, and your spacers don't necessarily have to match. In a few of the ones that I made in the beginning, the spacers didn't match. Now I am putting on this beautiful greenish bluish color of a Chinese crystal. There are 33 of the beads. Slide them all the way down. You don't want anything to fall off. Pick up another spacer, and then we will be putting the lava beads on, and there are 33 of those as well. I love that color. I use a lot of those in my artwork. I don't know if you've noticed in some of the other videos, I've used them for my marijuana bracelets. So that's something to think about. So let's put 33 of those on, and then we will put another spacer. You will find this goes so easy and fast that you could make several in one sitting. As you can see what I made in the beginning, because once I set down the bead, that's it. I go crazy. So let's pick up another spacer, and then we are going to pick up 14 8mm white jade beads. Now, you don't necessarily have to use specialty stones like I did. You can use wood or plastic or whatever you have on hand. Just make sure the colors complement each other and it will come out amazing. Now add one more spacer, and then we are going to pick up these particular beads here. They are reconstituted quartz and they are fabulous. And that was 7 pieces that we picked up. So now carefully we are going to tie a knot, and let's cut that off because you don't want to waste any of your stretchy cord because you will be making a lot more of these. So let's tie it firmly 3 times. So now we are going to take both of those ends and thread one at a time through. There goes my phone again. Looks like I'm popular this morning. So let's put both of those through the spacer. And you might have to pull one of the cords taut in order for both of them to fit through. And then we are going to pick up this howlite bead and again thread both of the cords through the hole. Ooh, that looks so pretty. So I'm going to just use my basic flat nose needle nose pliers to pull that little wire through. And then we are going to attach another spacer bead. Now the spacer beads I'm using, they're hollow on the inside, so I'm just going to hide that knot inside of it. You really don't want your knot showing. You want a very smooth, even flow. So the next spacer I'm going to pick up is a little tiny bent flat one. It has a little bit of sparkle to it. So let's thread both those cords through that. I felt like for this particular large round red jade faceted bead, that we're using, well, I'll say that 10 times really fast, that I needed some type of a cap. So, I mean, you can use a bead cap as well if you have a bead cap. That would be very pretty. So I put one on, and let's put another flat spacer on. That red jade is amazing. So now that we have both of those on, what we're going to do is we're going to grab our tassel and tie a knot. So try to keep your threads evenly and together when you tie them on to your mala. We are almost done. This is so exciting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie 3 firm knots, and we're not going to cut the elastic just yet. I usually like to save that for the end. So once that is knotted, let's flip it back around and make sure everything is even, and then we are going to cut it. And you will need an additional 1 foot of string that we are going to make the little head of the tassel. So just make sure everything is untangled. And sometimes I like to take my scissors and comb it through and separate the little threads. That's totally optional. So I'm just gonna do a basic overhand knot here, and you will understand why once we're at the end of our little loop making the head, because since all of the threads are the same color, it's hard to find your main thread. So fold it over after you make a little knot on each end of your 12-inch thread. Hold it with your thumb and then continue to wrap it around. I usually do about 9 or 10 times. And then we are going to take the one end and thread it through that loop at the top. Very easy. Stick it through there. And we're going to pull it. And we are going to look for the other string. That's why I said knot it, because it's always hard to find it in that bundle. So pull it nice and firmly, and then all of a sudden that loop disappears like magic. Now pull both ends firmly and trim the top one flush, and then trim the bottom of it as evenly as possible. Some say it's cutting the roots. Remember, no mud, no lotus. I love that saying. So try to make sure everything is nice and evenly, and you will end up trimming it a few times. So now go to the center and find those 2 cords and trim it flush, because they are double in there and they will not come untied. That's why I like to save it for the last. And I am taking my scissors and combing through each of those threads. Some people like to just leave them. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Since there's so many beautiful colors there, I wanted each one to blend cohesively. Oh my gosh, we're done. Look at that. That is so amazing. I love it. I love it. So with the 8mm beads, this equals out to be about 28 inches, and the tassel is about 3.5 inches. If you are making these for sale or gifting someone with it, be sure and write the measurements on there. And of course, write down which stones and crystal beads that you used. It is very important. It helps your sales. If you have room, write down the metaphysical properties of the stones, and also let your customer or gift-giving person know that they can wear it as a necklace or a bracelet, and it is intended only for them. This beautiful one-of-a-kind mala is in my Etsy store amongst numerous other malas, bracelets, earrings, art pieces. Thank you for stopping by. I look forward to visiting with you again, and please check out my other videos. Have a happy day. Bye.